Hey guys, finally got a quick minute after the first stop of the National Walleye Tour out here at beautiful Lake Francis Case in Chamberlain, South Dakota. It's a little bright, so I'm gonna put my Wiley's on because my eyes are squinting. I got a little free time, got done guiding today. It's Sunday. We were done by noon, 1 o'clock, something like that. The bite's still great, and I took these guys up. We pitched some jigs. We did a few other things, and they just hammered them. So gave me some free time today to give you a quick update on kind of what went down with the tournament here. So many of you watched it, you saw it. Finished 10th, a lot better than I thought we'd finish. Everybody kind of had a tough day too. A lot of that was due to the south wind slowing the current down, kind of put those fish in a little bit of a funk, as well as the boat pressure. I mean, half to 2/3 of the field was up north. So that that made it a little tougher. We lost a few fish. We had a little net and fish issue. Those things happen. You just got to rebound and figure it out. And didn't really get it too dialed in, but we had 12 pounds on day 2, kept us in it. Finished 10th. Can't complain about that. So anytime you get a top 10, anytime you cash checks, pretty good day after all the time and effort you put in on these tournaments and the investment. So thanks for following. Thanks for all the messages. I love it. We get real busy, but I do see them all, and try to get back to you if you ask questions. Eventually, just sometimes takes a little time. So been busy, been guiding every day. If we're not guiding, been on the water pre-fishing, or in one of these last couple tournaments have been out here. So we've had a pretty good start to this year. We're really looking forward to heading to Green Bay out of Sturgeon Bay here in just a few more weeks. A little recap. So we were fishing. I never fished probably deeper than 6 foot the entire tournament. Now, a lot of guys, there's fish all over the system, which is going to kind of confuse you because you can catch them deep, you can catch them shallow. But I had a spot that had some shell where there was still some pre-spawn. So I knew the key would be getting your unders, your under 20s. Means you can only keep one over. And I've been getting 20 to 23s, an occasional 24, 25 in this spot, which is that's a huge bonus if you get those. And we did get a 23 day one, 23 inch on day 1, which is probably a 5-pounder. But I had a bunch of pre-spawn fish yet. And even if they weren't pre-spawn, they're really healthy 19 3/4 inch fish. So, but you can get those pre-spawn fish. Every ounce in this tournament, as you saw, counted big time. So what we're doing is just pitching a jig, real simple. This is a hutch. 1/8 or 3/16, 1/8 ounce jig. When it got a little breezy, I'd put a Northland Current, cut a 1/4 ounce jig on there, but a 3/16 is kind of my favorite size to an 1/8. And just a white plastic. This is actually a Berkeley Gold plastic. Was definitely a ticket that were keyed in on white big time, and something that was light, and then making sure you always had bottom contact and your cadence very slow. I saw some guys popping it pretty hard, and I think they got some bites as well. But this has been working for me for literally a couple years out here. So jig and minnow was also working well, but the plastics, they tend to fall slower. A little color was bringing them in. The water was clear, so paying attention to water temp. The water clarity was huge. If I could see my prop, that was a good thing. When I couldn't, I'd mark fish in the dirty water, but couldn't get them to bite as well. And then up on the shoreline, there was a pocket of water that was good 2 degrees warmer than most everywhere else. And once you hit that, that's when the fish were very, very active. You could catch them other places, but you could catch them faster in that warm water. On day 1, my first 3 casts, we boated all 3 of those fish. A fat 18.5 with eggs and 2 19s, and the 4th cast was a white bass. So we were doing the right spot. But those fish scattered real quick with all that boat traffic. But as everybody else slid deep, I came back in shallow, and they were there again. And we just kind of kept with it, kept getting picky, and grinding it out until we got all the good 19s we wanted. And then we waited for our overs, and then pop, we got a 23, which helped considerably. So day 2, kind of the same program, a little bit more boat traffic, but those fish were in a bit of a funk. But I tell you what, I use my St. Croix Legend Extreme. This is my 6.8. This is a medium power extra fast. Now, medium light may be better, so most people are going to pitch with. I don't have this rod medium light yet. It's on its way, so I'm using my medium, but really having a lot of these hook sets are off slack line. These fish are just kind of in their mouth. They're not whacking it. Sometimes you're not even seeing the line pop. You just go to lift it and they're on it. So being able just to pick all that up real fast without very little give and catch up to that fish and get a solid hook set was extremely important, and I missed next to none fishing jigs with this St. Croix Legend Extreme 6.8 medium fast. And an extra fast tip is obviously that much more crucial to get that hook set driven home fast. So we didn't want them coming unbuttoned at the boat. That hadn't happened ever really necessarily, so good to go with that. And while I was pitching, we can put 2 rods per person out here in South Dakota. So I'd run on my Legend Elite. It's my vertical jigging rod. I love it so much, I put a 1/4 ounce Northland stand-up jig. So there's a lot of dead stuff. Up north, not so bad. The bottom's a little harder. but you get a lot of moss and stuff from the winter down low, or just kind of sitting on the bottom, and maybe, you know, some weeds or whatever occasionally. But the stand-up jig keeps that minnow up off the bottom and keeps it clean. So even if the head of the jig gets kind of gummed up, I couldn't really drag a round head jig, but these stand-ups are perfect. I use them for vertical jigging. I'll use short shanks a lot in the summer with crawlers, but these, you know, getting that minnow up higher. And if you ever notice, minnows are always kind of nose down anyway. You don't very seldom see a minnow swim up, so that looks real natural on this. Dragging this as well as a Lindy rig with a Randy rig hook on it. The Randy rig hook is perfect. It had a wide gap, and if I was getting short bit, I could snap that stinger on. So I didn't have to put the stinger on it, but I was prepared to, which is the awesome part about a Randy rig hook. We'd throw those couple out the back of the boat, and then the guy up front would pitch, and then I would pitch as well. Pitching pretty much, you know, the plastics put most of all of our fish in the boat. I think we might have, maybe the rigs and the jigs put a 19 or so, but they caught a lot of fish, and guiding today they caught a ton of fish and some real nice ones, so they worked real well. But it was understanding current, because it changes daily. Watching the water clarity, watching the water temp was extremely important, and the guys that took out today, I showed them that, and we had found some 54, then it went to 57, and we stayed in that 57, 56, and we really hammered them quick today. That's what they're looking for in this early spring. So, you know, I think some of the guys missed that, some didn't. Some were in the area. There was fish in the area, so they could be caught all over the place, but there was a couple key little elements that helped you get them faster, and then some bigger fish that were super shallow in that pre-spawn stage, even some post-spawns that just hadn't quite moved out or some of the bigger males up there. So nonetheless, it was a good tournament. We're stoked with our 10th place. Scott got 27th, I believe, and Randy got 14th, so the team did great overall. Of course, you want to finish 1, 2, and 3, but you can't win them all. As long as you cash a check, it's a good day. So, part of that rig, man, it's you know, the rod was extremely paramount. I think that, you know, the bait was probably one of the most key things. But a lot of those fish were on slack line, like I said. I'm really slow, and as you drop it, you got they might pop it, you know, and you're not necessarily able to see the line twitch, but I could feel a fish pick up my bait on a slack line, and I made this switch this year to Seagar, running the Smackdown. This is 10-pound braid. This stuff is amazing. I love it. It's an 8-braid strand braided together in a round profile, so it's super smooth. I can whip this, you know, an 1/8 ounce jig out there a long ways, even on a medium power rod versus medium light. Then Seagar came out with the new Gold Label Series leaders. This is a 10-pound. They have them smaller now. They didn't when I got those, but 10-pound was great because when I was in town pitching rocks, you needed that, you know, the little heavier line, because the abrasion resistance is extremely important. And out of all the Seagar, the originators of fluorocarbon, this is the newest stuff, Gold Label. It is freaking awesome. I love it. I put about, you know, 2 or 3 foot leader on here. Got an Alberta knot, it's nice and thin, so it'll cast through I can rip it through the eyelets without no problem. This one's down to, you know, probably just 20 inches now because I've retied a few times on it, switching up. This thing has next to no stretch at all. Fluorocarbon has a little bit of stretch, but the Gold Label has pretty much none. So you're not losing any of that sensitivity from your braid right up into your rod tip and down. So I'm just loving this stuff. Haven't broke any fish off. You know, I haven't broke any fish off on anything in years. You know, but penetrating those hooks and getting these suckers on that slack line was pretty important. I know Chase said he had some too, and Tommy, they had to reel up, and you know, they're setting those hooks on the slack line with some of these because they're just nipping at it, or just kind of inhaling it and sitting there with it, or even swimming with the boat. So the bite's pretty light. I've had some days out here where they've been whacking it real hard, and obviously that's great. You know, you're going to get a good hook set, you see the good bite. So I had a couple, you know, Tyler Nichols, McCoy angler, first day, did great. He actually boated our big fish, caught it on a hair jig. Once again, I added some white gulp trailer to that. So, but we caught, you know, a ton of fish, had a blast. Hats off to Chase for making a run, as well as Kimos for making a run, and Drake, you know, was fishing the same area. He made some choices and made a little adjustments on day 2 that worked out for him. Got a big fish, bumped him way up. So hats off to those guys. That was awesome. But congrats to Chase for making a run and dialing that in. He went right to one of my spots way down in Platte that I love to go. I just didn't figure it needed to go down there. They can get 15, maybe on a great day, a 16+ bag out of here every day. And you could, and Drake did it day 2. I just didn't get it going. So that's how it goes. No problem. Good tournament. Thank you guys for following. Thanks for all the support. I had cameras running day 1 in the boat, not so much day 2. Just was really stressed, and one of them just had some issues. I don't know if I even ever turned it on or not. I can't recall, but hopefully we got some footage. I can get some, you know, some cuts from day 1 in the boat. So and we'll stay tuned. We'll get those posted on here, and it's super nice. It's Sunday. It's absolutely beautiful out here. There's a storm coming, but I think we have a few hours yet. I'm gonna go catch some more fish because I'm just not tired of it, and it's awesome, man. These walleye are biting, and I've got like, I don't know, 3 or 4 overs I think this morning. I threw back at a bunch of 19, so fish is good. I'm gonna go fishing, so stay tuned. We're out of here in just a few days, moving down to Yankton to kick off guiding season down there. So all of you that have come to Chamberlain the last couple months we've been up here guiding, thank you. We'll be back doing this again next year. It worked out real good having the camper up here and just staying and going every day and going out of Cedar Shores. So thanks to Cedar Shores and and all the support and sponsors out there to make these tournaments things happen. Cabela's and Bass Pros, these tournaments don't happen without them, and I'm not here without you. Seagar, St. Croix, Tacticam, Wiley X, Northland Tackle, Offshore Tackle, Grizzly Coolers. All of these companies that support me and help me live my dream, so I can hopefully bring you guys some information and educate you and give you some tips and pointers to help your fishing be a better day and you more successful on the water.